So this is the property. We've got our rough property line here on the outside. We've got roads, we've got Maplewood down here, and we've got Door Bluff on the left. And we have a rough sketch for the future of an eventual ADU and garage. Over on the left side here, we have where the septic field would go. It's about that white plot area that sits out there. And then we have our existing driveway, which comes in from the left of Door Bluff in a turnaround area, parking area. And the main focus today will be on the A-frame build and overall design. Note any extrusions is just me kind of hacking together as best I could to make it look okay. So I haven't done a bunch of cleanup yet, as I just want to get the main point across of what this project will look like and what our desire is there. So this is the A-frame. If I come over to the entryway, one thing that you'll see here on the left is I just put an outdoor shower or a regular shower, but on the outside this would look different, but by the mudroom entryway would be this outdoor shower. I'm thinking over here on the right side would be a barrel sauna, and had some issues with this for some reason, this little wall here, but we'll pass through that. Entryway a little bit wider than a standard entryway, and then we come into the mudroom and we can look to the left, and we've got this other side of the wall here is utilities. And then we have storage, a bench to sit down, place our stuff, maybe a locker, storage cubbies, washer and dryer in this main area. And then we come into the hallway. And if I look to my left, we see this view down. This is kind of that aha, like, wow, that's awesome. I want to come into this area. We'll come into that area in just a second. This door right here is also access to kind of utilities. I'm not sure exactly how we build this out, but we need, vacuum and other cleaning supplies. We need maybe a hot water heater to live in here in this general area. If we take a right down the hall, we first come over here and we see a half bath. So we just have a toilet and a sink. I did not do any windows in this bathroom. And then we come over to our first bedroom. This is sized here with a king size bed, a window, and we've got a sliding closet. And that's really about it in the first bedroom. We come into the master bedroom, which is across the hall. There's a skylight, an egress window skylight that would allow someone to get out in case there was a fire. We do have a little walk-in closet here at the other end of the master that would eventually get built out more. And then we come into the master bath. Giant tub. I'm trying to figure out what we want to do with the giant tub, and also maybe building a surround. I want it to be easy to clean, but also I want it to make a statement too. So I want it to be a nice soaking tub. The only window in this room is the skylight over the tub, but there is a private toilet, which is right here. And there's the window here, and then you see that there's the private toilet, and then this takes us to the back of the house, and you see that this is the first bedroom's window, and then you see that that's the toilet and the window there. And then we would also do a shower here in the corner. I just didn't take the time to build out the shower surround. All right, so now we've seen two bedrooms, two bathrooms. Let's come down the main hall here, and we see the open space. We see to the left, we see the stairs that are going up. This is also kind of a wall underneath the stairs so that we could have utilities. This would be a pantry. It's a walk-in. I'd be looking to try to get a stand-up freezer in this spot. Also additional shelving for any appliances that we might want. And then we come into the main area. We'll go right first around to the kitchen. 4-foot walking paths. One of the thoughts too is we have the pantry on the other side here. Maybe we could have some sort of appliance storage that tucks away things that we might want to get to easily. I don't know. To be determined there. But sink, 3 skylights, 1 skylight in the middle, directly over the sink, and then other 2 skylights on each side of it. This island is a 4x7 island. And then over here we just have kind of a little coffee morning reading area in case you're doing breakfast. And then we've got stools. I didn't do like an extension here on this island topper. I don't know if I'd want it to go further than this. If anything, have the island stop at 4x7 feet and have the stools tuck under. So this setup here might be a little skinnier, not as deep for storage. And also over here, I would want to tuck in a microwave as well as a garbage. So microwave tucked in here somewhere, a garbage tucked in here somewhere, and the rest can be done for storage. Probably a good thing to store here might be a mixer, so easy access for baking. And then we've got our living area. We've got a wood fire place or stove, 2 seats here, the couch, and then we have a table. We have 3 skylights here, one kind of by this utility closet area and the stairs, one kind of by the table, and then another one by the couch. The table we would fit here would be a 6-seat table that can extend out to have 8 to 10 folks sleeping for 8 at this house. So that's kind of what we would want to accommodate. If we head up the stairs here, not into the mudroom, but just straight up the stairs, we come up onto the 2nd floor, and it's a general like kind of loft space. To the left here, we have, I'll go down just a little bit. So reverse, we've got a skylight, another skylight coming down onto the stairs to provide some more light. Another skylight here to provide just overhead lighting. This is a structured loft, and then over here we are hoping and really would like a net for lounging, for the kids, for adults, whatever. So you could lay on this net with blankets and pillows, and if you're laying here, you can look down and get an idea of what's happening in the kitchen area, and just kind of a fun thing to do. We didn't want to do it over the kitchen for various health reasons. We then have a little desk up here. We've got a little reading nook area. Again, lots of trying to make it as many nooks as possible, cozy spots to hang out. And then this is the view to the south through those windows. All of these windows, these square ones, are 4x4s. And then this one, I believe, is a 2x4 window. And then we got a skylight, and we've got another skylight. This bathroom is the 2nd floor bathroom. One of the things here, I still did double vanity. I want these to be lower, so kind of kid-friendly height vanities. And then if I turn the corner here, you see that I do have a toilet. I put a wall in here for plumbing and the bath. If I go to this view here, you'll notice that the bath is right here, the mudroom's here, and utilities is here, so hot water, etc. And then if I go to the 2nd floor above that, we have the full bath right above generally that other bath area. So not directly related. I think the other bath is about right here. And actually, I think I can do that. I'll do this. So yeah, so you've got the utility room here, the mudroom here, and the bathroom here. Pretty good location for that bath. And again, kid-friendly as far as the counter height on the sink. And then we come into the bunk room, and bunk room, we just have storage here as opposed to specific closets. Maybe we could add a closet bar or something. 2 bunks, so we can sleep 4 kids, 4 people, however you want to do it up here. Play into the slanting roof, little desk area, little sitting area, more nooks and crannies for people to enjoy. And then over here we've got the ladder and the A-frame that we've been looking at designs wise. Instead of a straight foot, like each ladder rung is the same, they did alternating ladder rung depths. So one side was really deep and the other side is shallow here, and then they alternated so that way you had a better foothold than kind of these smaller footholds. But this takes you up to the highest level loft. If we turn around here, this is your like general vantage view and point. You see this loft, you see all the way down here. You have just such amazing views, and what a cool experience. We put some musical stuff up here for this design. Really love this triangle design. I'd love to do this on the front as well if that's possible. Not sure how much that would cost and structurally or whatnot. And then we have the skylights here to provide some extra light. We didn't want to do skylights over here because, again, thought maybe this could be just a cozy spot to put some pillows and blanket and just kind of read, hang out. Kids could play games, however they want to do it. So that is the A-frame here in Door County that we would like to build. And yeah, this is essentially draft 1. It's August 3rd. And that's our current design. We don't know how feasible this is. We do know that there is an A-frame, which is the Dunlop Hollow A-frame, and I'll show that here in a second. Dunlop Hollow. Dunlop Hollow A-frame. All right. So I've got this A-frame, and you can
your bathroom. We can walk
actually get Dunlop Hollow. I think the one thing that you can actually get A-frame plans here, and I believe it's 24 feet wide, usable, if I'm not mistaken. But they do have these plans, architectural plans, 2D CAD files, and then architectural plans, 3D CAD files, so package 3. So you've got this whole A-frame plan. And again, some of the things that we really took from this one would be the overall ceiling peak, not really the window design per se. We don't really have much of a dormer. The color design though of this kitchen is spot on to what we would like to have in the space. I don't like the floating stairs. We don't like the floating fireplace. We are not going to have a TV on the wall. If we go to the next floor, nothing really else. We do like this bathroom though, but we would never do a vessel sink. Always do a built-in sink. And then if we go into, I like this concept too. Anytime we can use some of this wall space and build little shelves, that would be awesome. There is a back deck here. I'm not looking to do a back deck for the kids' bunk room. And then this is the
great
upstairs.
Bathroom. Now we'll walk back into the steps that we walked past before. These are custom steps. They're pretty steep, but you walk up this, and this is your 4th bedroom with a king size.
We would not do any sort of bedroom up there. And then for code reasons with Liberty Grove, again, we're just sleeping 8. And then A-frame 150. This is kind of the other thing that we've been looking at. So here, I'll stop that. I'll go back to this. Floor plans and pricing, floor plans. So if you look at this 150, the 150 is set up by 30 feet, 30 and a half feet by, I think if you add it all together, it's 50 feet from total dimension on the main floor. So they've got the main, again, they've got more of a larger living area. We really want on ours to have the main floor be a master. So as we look at this and this, we're just going to look at the current view here. So if you enter, you have the outdoor shower here, you have this utility room, and maybe there's access here and maybe here inside, or maybe you can access it directly from the mudroom entryway. You come in, this is your little storage, washer and dryer, and then you've got your half bath. Again, the toilet's here because you have a slanting roof, so wherever you kind of see things, that's where the usable area stops. And again, you don't want to put the toilet too close, so that way you can actually stand. This is the secondary bedroom, bedroom 2. This is a king size bed. We have a window here, no skylight. The bed looks like it can go up to here based off of the slope. And then this is a 2-foot depth closet with a sliding door. I'm also thinking, I didn't put it in here, I think it'd be nice if we could figure out a way to have a little bit of a linen closet at the end of the hallway here that can be accessed as well for towels or whatever else. I don't know. I've also, in this, I've tried to make some walls thicker. So I think like utility walls, bathroom walls where you have water. These are 6 inches. Toilet 6 inches, bedroom privacy 6 inches, and again shower here and toilet, so 6 inches there. We have the master bedroom. This is as far as the bed can go with the slant, and then we've got the closet, which is 5 foot 4 inches by 10 foot 4 inches. Master bedroom, and then the master bath. With the tub, with the 2 sinks. Here's the skylight. These skylights here, this is all for the top floor. I don't know why it continues to show through, but it just kind of gets in the way. And then we've got our private toilet. We need 30 inches side to side for the toilet to work, and there's more than 30 inches here. It's 32 inches on this view, and then there's a window here. And then if we come down here, we've got a pantry, which is 4.5 feet wide. And then about 10 feet deep into the pantry. And then we've got our kitchen area with a 4 foot or so aisle around, and then 4 foot by 7 foot island. And then this space here, we still have a 6 foot walkway, which is pretty good. I think it's okay having this empty space. Maybe there's something else that could go here, but maybe it's just fine that it's empty. So you can walk around easily and you're not getting in the way. Then you've got this living area, couch setup. So from the back of the couch to the front wall window, you're looking at about 13 feet. And then from the island over to usable wall space, you have almost 15 feet. You have a dining room area. Again, we would have expandable table. That can go from 4 or from 6 people basically up to 8, or I guess when you typically do that you might get 10, or maybe it's just 8. Yeah, I guess it's 6 to 8. And then you've got and over here we would also have kind of storage for games. So it'd be nice if utilities could be accessed on the mudroom side, so that we could have some sort of storage cubbies here and here on either side of the stairs for games that people will use. And again, outdoor shower on the main floor right next to the utilities. We're looking at like an 80 gallon or so tank for hot water. come up the stairs, and you've got this reading nook and loft and desk area. This is where the netting would be to overhang. You have a 17-foot gap between the loft here and here, and then you have about a 10-foot or so gap from the edge of this netting to the wall. So it starts to overhang a little bit on the couch, which is all right. And then this whole upstairs area is about 33 feet deep in total. And we'll walk it here. Some skylights. There's one here, and then there's also one here. Come in here. This bath would be primarily a kid's bath, but also a bath for the bedroom bedroom 2 to use from the main floor, since we have the master. So we want adults and kids to use the shower, and I think it's okay that we just have a shallower counter. It'll be nice for when they have kids staying at the place. And I put in a wall here for the plumbing of the shower, so it's a 6-inch thick wall, a little thicker. And then you come into the bunk room, and you've got storage here. No direct closet per se that's built. We could always build this and make it into a closet, but I just put little dressers in here. A seating area here, a seating area here, a little desk here, and the pathway between these two beds is 5 feet. And I think legally it needs to be 2 feet, but I think 5 is a nice corridor of space. And then if we look at the corridor here, you've got 4 foot 10 inches of space. And then if we look at this space here, where we've got this little desk, it's about probably 3 feet 6 inches when you consider the slope of the wall. This is just the top of the dormer from the first floor mudroom area. And then if I go to the third floor, let me zoom out. All right, so now we are on the top loft area. We're at 22 feet for total length. Again, come up the stairs here, and probably about 7 feet usable space on either side. With the roof peak, and then we've got 2 skylights here, one here, one here, and one here, and one here, and then we've got the windows. I'm not sure if we put actual music up here or not. I think the big concern that we do have with all of this is that it's going to get really hot up here, and so how do you circulate and essentially move air from this main floor up, or vice versa? So how do you get the hot air out of the roof and replace it with the cold air or cooler air from down below, so you have a more even flow? And it could be that we have 2 systems. Again, not sure. Ideally, we would like to have this completely open, so no beams that are in this whole open space if possible. But if we must have something, it'll be okay. If we need to have something running across from east to west, from side to side, but the goal would be to have it be completely open. Again, this one right here, this Dunlop Hollow, if you look at the interior, like there's no beams, right? You just have the stairs, right? So you've got the stairs going up in the loft. This is all completely open, so I know that it's doable. It just kind of depends on how it's structurally set up. This is also kind of nice too. There's like built-in cubbies, so they didn't go all the way down to the corner. They just started creating built-in cubbies along the edge, which is great use of space. Yeah, so again, kind of built-in cubbies. Again, we're not going to do TV, but we would like to have some sort of fireplace on the